Did you guys hear about this purported Eucharistic miracle in Mexico?
Yep.
You hear about this?
I'm just chuckling.
Why?
Yes. I saw it and I thought it was fake.
Yeah.
What?
Same.
No.
Yeah.
Come on. Naysayer nanny over here.
Immediately, I thought this is 100%
like you
fake.
didn't give it any chance whatsoever.
I gave it a 3 thoughts.
3 thoughts.
3.
Okay. Well, that's better than Rudy.
It's almost an entire moment, actually.
What made you immediately think it was fake? Just because you just refused to believe, or?
No, I thought it was fake because if you look at the video,
Yeah.
everybody's just kind of looking around, kind of goofing off.
Are they?
In the presence of our Blessed Lord.
You think so?
Which that is, to me, immediately like, okay, this is already a weird video. Secondly, I hate when people take videos in adoration. And thirdly, you can see a person ahead, a few rows ahead, with a phone out, recording the monstrance as well. And if this miracle was true, they would have released their video too.
Bias much, Rudy? I'm just curious.
So
Bias much? I'm just curious. Joining us right now to discuss this is the infamous David L. Gray from the Gray Report. Good morning to you, David. Hey, let's talk about the Eucharistic miracle in Guadalajara in the Mexican state of Jalisco. What is the story here?
So, as you guys were talking about, the internet, Catholic internet broke a little bit last week when people were, when this video came out of this purported Eucharistic miracle in Guadalajara. And so we were all under the impression that, perhaps this may follow the trajectory of other purported Eucharistic miracles, where the local priest informs the bishop establishes a committee, perhaps, who goes out and starts investigation, speaking with people, maybe bringing in some scientists, just going through the whole process of what we do with purported Eucharistic miracles nowadays. But what turns out to happen, according to the bishop himself, this was reported in on CNA, the Catholic news agency. The bishop says, his name is, he's the same bishop who's been there, I think, over a decade now, and I'll get to that shortly. But he's a Cardinal, Jose Francisco Robles Ortega.
Robles, yeah.
Okay. Did I do the? I'm horrible with English.
You and me both, brother.
You know, when I was looking at that story and I saw all those names, I was like, I'm just going to cut it down to Robles.
Yeah.
Same with the Mexican president now. It's like, I'm not saying his whole name. Come on.
There's a lot there.
2 hours later.
But he says it's a very sensitive issue that some extraordinary element be recorded or made official without the ecclesiastical authority knowing what happened. Reviewing the details that have to be reviewed in order to say that it's a supernatural, prodigious act, a miracle. But the cardinal noted that up to this moment, I haven't received any reports from the parish, nor from the priest who led the prayer, nor from the faithful themselves who experienced what they saw. So on 3 accounts, the bishop hasn't heard anything yet. I find that to be troubling.
Now, it's interesting. Dear listener, if you are hanging out with us on one of the live video feeds, you can comment right now. Let us know what you think. Do you believe this miracle was true? Do you think it wasn't? If not, why not? I'd like to know. But David, are you on the board yet? Have you said one way or another what you think? Do you think this is real or not?
Yeah, I'm kind of with Rodolfo. My spidey senses went off just from the beginning. You know, I didn't make a video about it. I think I shared a link on a Gray Report just because it was news, because people were talking about it. Mm-hmm. But what troubled me about the whole thing was back in 2013, there was another purported Eucharistic miracle that this same, I think he was a bishop back then, wanted to investigate, and it followed the same trajectory. It was, people said it happened, but it turned out to be a hoax. So here we are 9 years later, and the video just looked kind of, the thing about the video, I just didn't know what I was looking at, honestly. I didn't know what I was looking at. So like, what's going on? Sort of like a balloon going like this. I didn't understand. So I was kind of, I reserved my judgment, but my spidey senses kind of went off.
You know, Adrian and I were discussing this last week when we first saw the video, and we were trying to, analyze it from videographer perspective, because we all 3 of us here, we shoot video. Rudy takes pictures, allegedly. So
There's a lot of alleged things here.
Not anymore.
so like if this was an in-camera issue that made it look like this, how would that be accomplished? Adrian had a theory that it was focus peaking here. It was like breathing, focus
Joe.
breathing. We see this sometimes on inferior cameras, not like the Lumix brand, which is the superior one, industry standards, where it just locks focus and stays there. But maybe like a Fuji or something like that.
Joe, I got a theory. Do you remember when we were shooting B-roll of that radio and we wanted to get some flicker?
Gosh, I can't remember. Yeah, what was it? Oh, yeah. Oh, you added it in post, right?
Yeah, you can add a flicker in post.
So that would be my
and
argument.
That's what I was thinking was
if you were
done.
going to fake this, I argue when I see the video, I don't see anything that would say this is happening in camera. Like
Yeah, I don't think-
modern
yeah.
cell phone cameras, the AI is so good that it's not going to focus peak and breathe like that, right?
Yeah.
It's going to lock and stay locked, and everything's going to be in focus. It's not going to be like no shallow depth of field going on there.
Could be noise.
I would say if this was fake, it had to be faked by someone in a computing and an editor,
Post.
video editor in post, as we say.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not even a professional editing.
Well, I imagine. I mean, how many videos do we see on the internet these days with like alien spacecraft hovering in the skies, and it was all faked by a 10-year-old in like in between video game sessions. And it's just like it's become so easy. The technology it's become so user friendly now that almost anybody with the help of some YouTube videos can fake just about whatever they want these days in special effects. So it's definitely possible to fake that. But what's interesting is it does look like the beating of a heart, doesn't it?
And Father Mark Goring, he had put a video out recently saying that he had someone look at some sort of aspects of the video, and he has said that they had determined that the lights inside the beating heart pulsates like a heart. There's like three, but it sounded like there's some sort of heart murmur involved as well, because there's like 3 lights and then there's a pause and then another 3 lights. So it sounds like a little heart condition to me. I'm not a doctor or anything like that. But
Do you identify
it
as
sounded
one?
like-
I'm just curious. I'm not a doctor, but I identify as a cardiologist. I mean, like, really? I mean, if it was LED lights, because LED lights do cause problems for the shutter in cameras. Right?
Okay.
The shutter speed doesn't keep up with the frequency of that LED, and it causes a flicker-like thing. But if that's true, then wouldn't you see LED lights that flicker through the whole image?
Or
Exactly.
unless,
Not just
unless-
specified to the host?
Unless, here's my theory.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the people were
down.
shining a LED light or a fluorescent
Like a
light.
spotlight.
Yeah, like a spotlight onto the host to try to focus people's attention on the host. I've seen this done in many parishes.
Steubenville conferences are notorious for that.
In Steubenville conferences, they do that. And the camera was not set up because it was like automatic, so it was probably not set
Right.
to the correct shutter speed.
But it would
and
have to
so
not
then
be
you
a cell
see a
phone,
flicker,
right?
but the flicker, it could happen on a cell phone.
Yeah.
And the shutter speed, so then there was a flickering, but only on the spotlight.
particular.
And then humans have a desire for pattern recognition. And so people see the flickering like, oh, that kind of looks like a heartbeat. And so we kind of just associate it with it, even though it's actually not that. So that's my
Wow.
theory.
We
That's
are
my
doing a lot of
This
mental
is
gymnastics
so
here.
fascinating. I mean, you guys are like, this is like a whole episode of CSI. you guys are like crime scene investigators with technology. This is amazing.
Well,
Enhance.
we are going to go down to Mexico as a team. We're going to drive there because I can't afford to fly it. So hopefully we'll survive the border crossing. But nonetheless, what about the idea? Last question. We're running out of time. What about the idea that Mexico has fallen so far from the conquest of Our Lady of Guadalupe to convert so many millions of souls that this might be a grace to the people of Mexico to say, return to me with your whole heart. What about that theory?
Yeah, I think that's what we were all hoping, right? That this was an opportunity for Eucharistic, be a new site where we can go to pilgrimages, be a whole be a whole thing that will help the faith and help people convert back to the faith. So many people in Mexico have lost the faith, have went to the Protestant, or just lost faith altogether. I thought we were hoping this would be a great opportunity, but what it seems to be is another opportunity for people to begin to doubt Eucharistic miracles.
Interesting. All right, David O'Grady, davidogray.info. Check out, he has a great aggregator of lots of stories on many topics. I highly encourage you to check it out, davidlgray.info. David, thanks for your time today. God bless you. God love you.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss, my friend.